Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to this video of... Makes you notice, doesn't it? A little bit of darkness. Refines the senses. Okay, I'll stop. But the darkness does ask a lot of questions. Who's there? Are you being watched? Are shadows faster than light? Is a dark room just one big shadow? My shadow is called Keith. Being in the dark instantly puts your mind on edge. It's a survival instinct. You could get pounced on by a tiger at any moment, so your brain needs to be on high alert. It needs to be scared. That's why it makes a pile of clothes in your room look like the most terrifying image imaginable as soon as it gets dark. But darkness can also mean peace. Darkness is nothing. It's so boring it sends you to sleep. And what a stupid way to evolve, by the way. Silence and darkness are when your brain needs to be the most awake, but they're also the best conditions for your brain to just turn off. Like, just why? But I recently found out about these things called darkness retreats, where you retreat into darkness. Basically, you go there and spend a few days, yes, days, living in complete and total darkness. Which sounds super boring. Like, what are you supposed to do? You can't take your phone in there because that would completely destroy the entire point of it. You can't take a book in there because you won't be able to read it. You can't even take a puzzle in there because you can't see it. What do? Be alone with your thoughts for multiple days? The only thing I can imagine actually being able to do is like calisthenic exercise. So if you want to do nothing but practice how to do a handstand or a planche push-up, then this is perfect. And that actually sounds really cool, to be fair. Imagine your friend disappears into darkness for 4 days and comes out being able to do handstand push-ups. Basically just giving them superpowers out of boredom. But before we get into all of this properly, just look over there. You see, yeah, you see that? That got posted through my door the other day by Captain YouTube themselves. We finally hit 500 subscribers, which is truly, it's amazing. And I don't want to hold up this video too much. I just wanted to say a really quick and a really big thank you to each and every one of you. You know, I love you guys. But not in a weird way or anything. Unless...
I don't know where the toilet is. Do I just sit down and hope for the best, or... Perfect landing. Unfortunately, you couldn't put toilet paper into the toilet, so...
Nope.
That's something I hadn't thought of, actually. Going to the toilet would be a full-on adventure. But why can't you flush the toilet paper? Does flushing produce light? But surely you're allowed to flush. Otherwise you'd be living with a huge pile of your own shit for a week. Which, controversial opinion, I know. I don't think is very good for you. So I'm guessing you can flush poop, but nothing else? Which brings even more questions. Main one being, why? Are they collecting it in order to clone you? Darkness retreats are DNA farms so they can clone you from your poopies and create an army. That is my current theory on this.
Initially, I thought I would have pretty good spatial awareness, but it is so bad.
To be honest, I will be screwed with that. My spatial awareness is horrific. My toes would be a mangled mess immediately if I ever did this. And it's crazy to think that this is literally what being blind is like. Have you ever closed your eyes and walked around your house to see what it would be like? It's terrifying. So if you're watching this and you're blind... God damn it. If you're listening to this and you're blind, then you're amazing, and doing stuff that the average person will be terrified of every day. Keep up the good work.
Food would be delivered twice a day into this box with a two-door mechanism, so even then no light would come in. It's so weird, I can't see anything. It takes a certain level of trust to just be like, okay, I'm gonna put this thing that sounds a bit slimy in my mouth.
You know what they say about putting anything in your mouth? The slimier the better. If it doesn't actively try to wriggle off your fork as you go to eat it, it's not worth it. But you're probably thinking, okay, but why? Why would anybody do this? What's the point? Well, he explains it to us.
I've done virtually every psychedelic drug. It was, I think, by far the most powerful medicine journey I've ever been on.
In the dark room, you producing it. Melatonin and 5-MeO and DMT.
Yeah. He did it so he can trip balls. I don't know if you've ever heard of DMT before, but yeah, it's basically a super powerful hallucinogenic, and people who have taken it have described like seeing like otherworldly beings and talking to them in alien languages, impossible shapes that move and go inside of you, basically just seeing like a completely new plane of existence. Some people believe it's our way of accessing like extra dimensions in space. Like we see everything in 3D, but whilst on DMT, you're seeing everything in 4 or 5D. And these creatures you encounter are actually always there, but we can never see or interact with them unless we are high as frick. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what doing shrooms on steroids will do to you. And I also think that when you die, your brain like releases some DMT naturally, which would explain all of the after-death experiences you have. Like they see heaven or have like a big out-of-body experience and stuff. So yeah, it's an insane drug, and if that can happen by just staying in the dark, well then I guess I'm into it. But what this guy did is great. Like one of his friends brought his brain scanning machine.
Did a final brain scan.
You took your brain scan machine with you?
I've got it, yeah.
We took a brain scan before and after the experience to see how it would affect our minds.
So they can scientifically see the effects of the darkness retreat on his brain. And I can't decide if it's really cool or really weird to just have a brain scanning machine lying about. No, actually I do. It's really cool.
It's day 2. I have no idea what time it is.
Oh frick. Yeah, you'd completely lose track of time. I struggle to remember what day it is anyway, so having no light and no actual way of telling the time, it would mess me up. A week would feel like a year.
Not drinking or eating anything for 3 days was hard, and injecting myself frog poison, but I think this is definitely the hardest thing I've done this far.
This dude is insane. He starved and dehydrated himself for 3 days for 317 views. He's built different. I mean, he's doing very well for himself now, but that's crazy. And for this to be even harder than doing that, is the DMT trip really worth it? Yes, it is. I'm not condoning doing hard hallucinogens, by the way. Don't do it.
The most unsettling thing I read was that the hallucinations in darkness retreats are not just fun and games. A lot of it is demonic creatures that are lurking in the dark, and even characters from horror movies that could jump out at you.
Holy shit. It's just constantly hanging out with your sleep paralysis demon. Maybe that means you can just hang out with them and become boys though. But seeing the girl from Martyrs would be pretty scary. And if you guys aren't into French extremist cinema and have no idea what I'm talking about, this is what that girl looks like. Now imagine being in complete darkness and seeing her crawling towards you and trying to touch you. I'd cry. I would legitimately burst out into tears.
The best way I could describe it is, imagine your darkest fears and deepest insecurities playing like a movie in your mind over and over and over again. And the harder you try to look away, the longer it's going to play. So there's no escape.
My guy is legit going insane here. I guess drugs are bad for you after all. Who'd have thunk it?
When we got the results from our brain scans after the dark retreat.
When your brain is calm, there's zero emotional recall. So Liam, when I see stuff like this, it makes me think of a PTSD pattern. My guess is you went through some stuff in that room.
He was in darkness so hard that he got PTSD from his insecurities. He's getting full on attacked by his brain like,
hey man, you're really not that cool. You're pretty silly, my guy.
That does sound horrendous though, because like you can't get away from it. Well, you can, but you'll have to leave the darkness house, which sounds like a terrible Blumhouse film that they would definitely make. But you'd have to leave the darkness house, but you'd still be thinking about them for a while. I imagine that leaving early would actually like amplify these feelings. But no, once you're in there, you kind of have to go through it.
I literally have everything I need to be fully happy. My cup is not just full, it's overflowing, and I just don't see it. What a waste to not be completely happy every day.
He went from freaking out about his insecurities to crying about how much he should appreciate life. He gets super philosophical about it as well. And the crazy thing is, the DMT doesn't even hit him. The DMT doesn't get released until around 5 to 7 days. And it actually doesn't hit him, but it does hit one of his friends, his buddy Chris. Gotta love our boy Chris. Who was also doing the darkness retreat just like in another room. And this is what he said about it.
The crying was so intense, snot is running down my face, like tears, like I can't control it.
Our boy Chris went through some mad stuff here.
And then like the intense hallucinations came in. It was uncontrollable then. You'd see these grids, you'd see these lights. It was just like seeing another realm.
The human brain is so stupid. If you sit alone for a week in darkness, then it just destroys itself. Literally, it released the chemical that should only be released when you die. Does that mean that the brain legit thinks that you're dead? That's my theory about it, at least. You're without any visual, social, and I presume audio stimuli. I don't know about the audio, but I'm guessing. So does your brain just think,
oh damn, this has gone on for a bit, hasn't it? Yeah, we're dead.
Which does make me think that this would be much scarier if people could like pay to scare the shit out of you. Not like come in and jump scare you, but like play random noises at random times. But then I guess it would just turn into a TikTok live stream of just non-stop fart sound effects. But then our boy gets let out. And he's hype, and I really don't blame him. I have some other videos of people's reactions of being let out and seeing light for the first time in days, and I feel like this woman got a bit too excited.
Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my god.
I think she came.
It's like being born.
Oh, shut up. I know that it makes you feel philosophical and stuff, but being born? That's crazy. It seems like darkness therapy can have like a good and drastic effect on a person's mental state and view of the world. Whether those effects are entirely positive, I think depends on if you go through the DMT trip and survive. But I low-key want to do this. I like a little bit of spirituality, you know, meditating every now and then is good for you. It makes you more aware of yourself and stuff. And this is like the most ultimate version of that. So one day if I ever get the opportunity to do this, I'm definitely going to do it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. Hitting 500 subscribers was incredible, and it's only going to be better when we hit 1,000. If each one of you gets one other person to subscribe, we'll be right there. And if you do, then I will... Have a great day.